Are you Brewing and I'm Trouble?
You're Trouble? You're not Trouble.
Yeah, I am.
You're least Trouble.
I live life on the edge.
Oh my God. You live your life on the edge? Please.
I'm having coffee after 3, which is my cutoff. Can the camera see this if I compare our coffees? No.
We can zoom in. So I want to thank you for coming to our first episode of Trouble Brewing. They're going to be short episodes, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do
that's all we have time for. Got busy days.
I'm brewing. He's Trouble.
Yeah.
I'm brewing because I'm drinking coffee after 3. That's all I have to say. Something's brewing.
But actually, I'm Duquesne, aka DQ. That's what I always wanted to be called.
I'm Marty, aka Farty.
That's
what they used to call me in high school. Marty Farty.
Are we gonna start crying in this podcast? Am I gonna be comforting you by the end of this?
Yeah. No, you're Trouble. You're probably just gonna make fun of me.
That's true.
So let's do this first one. Let's talk a little bit about the coffee.
Okay.
Like, how did it come about?
So I still think the coffee was purely a scheme just to get me to come work for the company, because I wanted to work for a coffee company and was looking for a job. And then Clayton just magically called me up one day and was like, hey, guess what? We are starting a coffee brand. Wouldn't you love to come work for us? So then
Oh, wait, though. So you weren't going to come here. You were only coming for the coffee?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't do hardly anything with the coffee.
I know. It's just now starting to get where I get to do stuff with it, every week. I had about a year and a half of finance and legal that had nothing to do with coffee. But no, coffee really started because there started being so many issues with current coffee. And
who thought of that first?
My mom.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it, she's kind of insinuated this at
His
point.
His mom is Dr.
Rahm. Yeah. I called her Christina today, and that was really weird because someone else called her Christina.
I think I did. Yeah. But she told me to.
I know.
But then I still feel weird.
But then I was like,
I feel like if I call her Christina, I'm going to go, hey, Christina. She's going to go, Dr. Rahm. I'll be like, oh, okay.
But my grandparents started not being able to drink as much coffee. And a lot of that is just because they're older. It upsets their stomach more or is not great for their heart. So during COVID, that was my nerd thing. Like different ways to brew coffee, what was going on with coffee, trying different medium versus light versus dark roast. So that was when I started really becoming obsessed with it. And I think between that and Dr. Rahm, aka Mom, realizing there's so many things that are dirty or polluted in this world, and coffee is one of those that she could look into more and find a clean version. So I came on right when they started talking with the roaster over in Turkey about possibly doing a collab, because they had gone on a trip over to Cyprus and met him, and he was a really cool dude, Salim, and they had started talking about a different potential collab. And I think I had been here like 2 or 3 months when we got the first batch trying it, where they cleaned it a special way, and then Rahm Roast was born from that.
So when they cleaned it the first time, you guys tasted it and realized it was something special?
Well, Clayton tasted it the first time, and which Clayton doesn't drink coffee, so he was like, it's the best coffee ever.
Right. We don't have nothing to compare it to.
I'm over here, and I'm like, Clayton, I've never seen you drink coffee ever. You saying that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not true. But we went over to Cyprus for October 2022 because we did our annual trip over there, and then we all got to try it. And that's when I was like, this is pretty good.
Because it is smooth.
Yeah. And it is medium roast, which I love medium roast. That's the flavor I prefer anyways. I discovered that after about $800 worth of coffee bags during COVID. I would just try different ones. But medium roast.
You want to hear that you talk about going over? You want to hear a fun fact? Do you want to hear a fun fact about coffee?
Please.
Okay. Thanks, Drew. Do you know how the beans get caffeinated?
During the process?
No. Do you know that the trees emit caffeine to the beans it's more like an insecticide to the bugs?
And it keeps
the
bugs
higher
away
the
from it.
trees are, in the mountains, the less caffeine they have in the beans.
Interesting.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. No,
I thought it was something that we did. Like it just.
I thought it just was like part of the. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I always just thought it was part of the the bean, the nut.
No, it does change with the washing process.
Yeah.
I think, or roasting process.
Yeah.
I think because people say, people question is dark roasted coffee, does it have more caffeine than light roasted? It doesn't.
Although I've read several articles that say the difference is so like minute that it doesn't even matter. Like people get so hung up on it, and it really.
Well, I think people think that it's just. It's like we were talking about the other day about decaffeinated coffee.
Yeah.
There's really caffeine still in the coffee.
It is a lot less.
It's less, but it's still caffeine in there.
Yeah.
So
that is interesting. So one of the things that happened was this disease that knocked, and I can't remember the name, that like knocked out all these coffee plants. The lower grown ones were the ones that got knocked out more. So they started having to move the altitude a little higher up to grow more coffee, or they started having to do different ways of growing it, which is where you then get into using pesticides or growing it with GMOs or whatever it is. But no, I didn't know that the higher it is, the
higher
less
elevation. I mean,
minute,
it's so
again.
minute, but the idea is that the tree actually feeds the. I can't remember what the beans are. They're not called beans; they're berries.
Yeah, I know. There's the beans are like inside the berries.
Right.
Yeah,
they're red berries, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like coffee at all. It actually looks pretty cool. So everyone should go look up what a coffee. I don't know if they're called coffee berries though.
Yeah, no, they're not called. They're not called coffee berries.
No,
they're. Hey, you got your phone there?
Yeah.
What are they called?
What, before they're roasted?
Yeah. They're
there's the coffee plant, but
no, it's not. It's this weird. I think it's I don't know. How's your coffee?
It's good. This is my number 3 cup of the day.
This is only my second. I only try to do 2
which
cups.
is not good. I mean, if I go over 2, it's leading to problems, and I'm not going to sleep enough.
So let's go.
Green coffee.
Green coffee.
Coffee beans are known as green coffee.
Green
Well, that's
coffee.
really
because it is green.
Unclimatic, though. I mean, I thought it was gonna be something really cool.
Coffee cherries.
Coffee cherries.
Coffee cherries. That's what it is. Thank you. That's much better. The green.
Grapes. Coffee grapes, really.
We can change it. I mean, we're starting new stuff anyway, so let's start here. We'll
call it the
Rahm coffee cherry or coffee grapes by Drew Harrison. There we go.
Yeah,
we're setting new waves. Let's trademark it right here.
I'm doing it right now.
All right, let's say goodbye this one because we want to keep
Okay.
them short, and then we'll come back with another one. So we'll say this was the first episode
The
of
intro.
What did we say it was again?
Troubled Brewing.
Hey, why do I say
Brewing Trouble?
Step 1 of podcasting is knowing the name of your podcast.
Well, step 2 is not having a smartass in the room with us.
And
Full brewing.
oh, there was another roast. That was your second roasted. Yeah. I have 0 roasted. You have 2.
Want me to put little numbers up, dude?
I think we need to have a scoreboard because we know at the end of it, it's gonna be like
You're gonna
52 to 3. Like it's gonna. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Trouble Brewing. So this is the first episode of Trouble Brewing, and then keep coming back to the Rahm Roast site. Not the Rahm Roast site. We're gonna do it probably on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll put these on YouTube. Maybe
one day.
Mostly on Instagram just to get people going, and then we'll have more tips and ideas to go with it too.
We'll figure it out one bean at a time. That was the third
Number
name.
1. I would say that would be his number 1.
That was the third name we didn't go with, but I thought it was a cool
No, didn't
name.
we say good something?
Oh, you had another one.
What was the other one?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Where's my voice in my head? What was the other name we had?
You were supposed to be the voice, Drew.
Yeah, my voice is letting me down. Right
Oh, okay. Well, you all might figure it out next time.
Well,
We went with Troubled Brewing. So
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
we'll be back.